So I'm just over here at the property. A month ago, we weren't even thinking we were anywhere close to having property, and it's something that Christina and I have wanted since we got together. Over 10 years ago, we discussed that point of getting property, and I grew up out on 5 acres. This one is about 4 acres. Checking the well to see if there's water in it. We know there isn't, but it was drilled in, I think, in the 70s, and there was water at 120 feet. But the cap was off the well, and we found it over in the corner of the property over there. And so we're checking to see the depth of the well. It's muddy down there for sure, and there's sediment and stuff. We just dropped a string down with a bolt on the end. That's one thing, you need water on your property, so there needs to be well. And this is the lagoon right here. So this was dug out. There's plumbing from the lagoon up over to where that little tiny house is. We got to get all that checked out and make sure it's all working. Right now we're just in the phase of like putting in an offer for this place. I don't know if you can see behind me. Well, you can. Right behind me, that tree line basically is the edge of the property that I grew up on. There's 5 acres behind there too, and that's where I grew up. My parents have their house over there. That was the really appealing thing about this property, is that it was connected to our other property. So it's kind of random that it just came up for sale. So it's super exciting. This morning I woke up with a little bit of dread, like, oh my God, I have 2 kids and my wife Christina, and I'm like, how do I do this? How do we get this property? How do we make it livable, right? Because that's the first step. Like, we don't have all of the money to just buy the property, put a big house on it. That little tiny home over there isn't actually like livable. It's just a room with a heater. So we'd have to figure out how to live on here for the summer while we start to make it more livable. And maybe we make it livable by the winter, but maybe not. It's a long-term process, a long-term vision. So we're putting in an offer. We're just getting it together, and we're so excited because it's a surreal experience, because a month ago, this was not in our forecast at all. Looks like some bear poo, and not that we could see anyway. So it's wild. I grew up on 5 acres and I wanted that for my son, and we'll see the reality of it once we get out here and see how much work there is to be done. But I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I hope it works out. Who knows? We still have to put in our offer. So now I'm going to walk back through the forest to where my parents live. So you'll see this little journey. Some low land here. Oh man, it's so beautiful out here. But it's cold. It's October, late October, and it's cold out. It was -5 this morning. But this is a more dry walk back, because over here it's swampy. That's why these spruce trees, they're not tall, like they're kind of growing in this swamp. And but let's walk back through the forest. Beautiful. So I'm going to take the dry path. Ideally, we would make a path here that would connect the properties. But we could drive a little quad down or just walk down. But as you will see, in just a couple minutes, I'm just kind of walking through the forest here. And oh, there's our lagoon. So this is the lagoon on my parents' property. Right there. Keep walking through here. Definitely a little trek. So, here we are, the house that I grew up in.